Merry Christmas. So it's been a while since I've posted up a video, and I thought I'd give you all an update on what's going on. Back in November, I decided it was time to start moving corals and the anemones out of my 50-gallon cube and bring them down into the 210. I couldn't get the anemones to peel off the rocks. I was worried about tearing the foot and killing them, so I just grabbed the rock and acclimated it and then put it in the tank. Got a couple of little mushrooms that tagged along. About 4 days ago, on Friday, well, it was Friday, I picked up this rock, and I think it's just amazing. 79 bucks. Now, I looked online, and there were places that were selling them. They were importing them from Vietnam, and they were going from anywhere from 200 to 500 bucks. Now, this rock, it's probably 8 inches long and maybe 4 inches across. And so for 79 bucks, I thought that was a great price. You know, it's been in there a few days. I've watched it open and close, with the lighting. So it's doing great. I'm happy with it. And for 79 bucks, I figured that's a steal. I may as well buy it before somebody else does. And then a few weeks ago, I added some mushrooms. I got them in a lower flow area, and low, moderate lighting for this tank at least. They're doing well. They haven't shriveled up or anything. It looks like 2 of them are starting to split off into babies. So I'll just keep an eye on that. But my intention is to turn this area of the tank, the lower area, and this side of the tank into like a little mushroom farm. We'll see how that goes. Give it some time. That's it livestock wise. Haven't really made any significant changes. Give you another lengthwise view so you can kind of see that nem on the left he's gorgeous, but he is huge. When he's fully open and happy, I would say he's close to volleyball size. I'm hoping that he moves a little higher up on the rocks so he's not on the glass. But they're doing great. They're thriving in the 210. So for a while now, I've wanted to convert my pumps over to DC pumps. I was running the Seashay Synchrosilence, a pair of them on this tank, and I had them not quite 100%. I would say they were maybe 70% open, but you have to adjust the flow on those. You have to reach down into the tank and twist a knob, and sometimes if you get some algae or calcium buildup or anything like that in there, it's near impossible to turn it without busting something. I like the idea of just going around on my control board, pushing a few buttons, and I can adjust the flow that way. So these are Varios 8 pumps, and I believe I've got them dialed down to 20, maybe 40%. And they're moving close to 900 gallons an hour. In addition to the pumps, I also picked up the Apex flow monitors. I've got them on each of those pumps, and then I have a third one on the pump going to my UV sterilizer because I wanted to be able to monitor the flow going through the UV sterilizer. Go around the other side of the sump. So that's the other pump there. And like I said, I got the flow monitor on it. I also started using the BRS GFO and carbon reactors, and I got a friend that's building a bracket. I'm going to try and hang it from the side of the sump and see if that works or not. If not, maybe I'll build a stand to raise it up. But I want these outlets here to be parallel with the top of the sump, and then just have them drop. So I also started using 100 micron filter socks, and they have done an amazing job of clearing up the water. I mean, not that water, to me, I'm really pleased and impressed with the clarity of the water. It's pulling, like I said, 100 microns, so it's getting all the big stuff and the small stuff and pulling it out of the water. The drawback to doing that is I'm having to replace those socks every day. Now these socks have only been in there 3 hours, 4 hours, and they're already starting to show signs that they're catching some particles. So I don't know if I'm going to switch back to the 200 micron and then just replace those every 3 or 4 days, or if I'm just going to stick with the 100 microns. But I mean, I am digging how clear this water is looking. I'm really pleased with it. I picked up the Apex Par Meter, and I figured because I'm going to be slowly loading this tank up with some corals, I want to have a good idea of what kind of lighting I have in the tank now, and then if need be make some adjustments, whether it's increase the par or decrease the par or increase the duration. Right now I have it set where it hits a plateau with the light blue, dark blue, and the purple or UV light. It hits a plateau, but that plateau only lasts about an hour or two, and then it starts to dim the lights. So I may increase the duration, but I've been taking par readings in the sand. Was the first week I was taking 24-hour readings in the sand, and then I started taking readings on the tops of the rocks. So, for example, and I know corners are usually lower par. This corner I think was like 80. The top of the rock it hit 100. This rock yesterday on the top of it hit, I believe, 213 par. And I just moved the meter over to this rock structure this morning, so I won't have an accurate reading on it, what the par reaches throughout the day until the end of the day. But I'm going to go through and get the par readings at all the different levels, and make adjustments if need be, and kind of plan coral placement based on the par readings. I'm thinking I'm gonna just stick with softies. I don't know that I have the height of the rocks to get the par, get them up closer to the light. And like I said, if I decide not to increase the intensity of the lights to increase the par, I don't want to put coral on there just to watch them die. So I also, those of you, I've been running a max spec gyre on this end, and I've been getting the reddish brown, I don't know if it's cyano or if it's the dino. I just call it dino farts, and I stir up my sand. I siphon out the sand or vacuum the sand, and this stuff comes back as soon as the lights start intensifying. It starts popping up here and there. So I'm trying to correct this without adding chemicals to the tank. And I know one way to do it is to completely kill the lights for 3 or 4 days. Another way to do it is to increase the flow in the tank. And to do that, I added another gyre. So I'm running left and right gyres. And I got it programmed. I'm using the Lunar Tide Current, the pre-programmed setting for the max spec gyres. So it's definitely increased the flow. I'm not expecting it to make changes overnight, but I've had the second gyre in there it'll be a week tomorrow. So I'm thinking either I need to increase the percentage of flow, because right now I think it's maxing out at 60%. I may need to increase that. I'm hesitant to go 100% on everything, left and right flows. I don't know. I just don't want this tank rocking and come downstairs one morning to find that my stand collapsed or something silly like that. So I'm probably not going to hit 100. I'm hesitant to go above 80, but I'm not quite there yet. I'll give it a few more days, and if I don't start seeing some improvements in the sand, then I'll go up in the gallons per hour flow. You can see throughout the day the gyres ramp up in intensity, and you can see it's blowing those NEMs pretty nicely. We'll see. I was talking about the Apex flow monitors for the return pumps. I can give you I don't know how well you can see that, probably not very well, but one pump is moving 453 gallons an hour, the other pump is moving 474. So I'm just saying I'm moving about 900 gallons of water per hour through my sump back into the tank. So, but this is it. Tank, the fish are doing great. The corals appear to be doing well. Haven't had any real significant issues going on. So hope you guys have a very blessed and happy and Merry Christmas. And I hope your the remainder of your 2018 is blessed, and your beginning through the end of 2019 is blessed as well. Y'all take care.